Starting a podcast is always exciting, but one of the first questions I get when I talk to new podcasters is, where do I actually put my podcast so people can find it? Well, if you've ever wondered whether you need Apple, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, or all of them, well, don't worry because you're not alone. I'm Dave from the Blubrry support team, and today we're diving into Podcast Distribution 101, where you should submit your show, why it matters, and how to do it the smart way. Well, I guess you could think about it like this. Your podcast is a restaurant. Distribution is making sure that it's listed on all of the food delivery apps, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub. So no matter where people look, they can find you. So podcasts are kind of like that, except the food apps are Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and a dozen more. And without distribution, your show is kind of like this amazing restaurant that nobody knows is out there because it's hidden down a back alley with no sign out front. The big reason distribution matters is audience habits. Some people live on Spotify, others only open Apple Podcasts, and believe it or not, a growing number are only listening on YouTube. And if your show isn't there, you're basically telling potential listeners, sorry, this restaurant doesn't deliver to your neighborhood, and nobody wants to hear that. So here's a stat that's worth remembering. Most podcasts get delivered on listening apps, not on Google. That means if you're only posting on your website or social media, you're missing out on where listeners actually hang out. So, where should you submit your podcast? We're going to go ahead and break that down. First, you have Apple Podcasts. It's one of the oldest podcast directories still around, so it's kind of the gold standard. Many apps like Pocket Casts, Overcast, and Podcast Addict pull directly from Apple's directory, so if you're not there, you're missing a whole lot of apps. Spotify has huge reach, especially for younger audiences and international listeners. Amazon Music and Audible, they're connected, I promise. And they're quietly growing in the podcast space, and people discover their shows all the time while looking for audiobooks. YouTube is becoming one of the biggest podcasting platforms because it's where audiences already spend hours. And yes, you can distribute your audio podcast there too. Now, you can also get your show on a lot of other platforms like iHeart and Pandora, and the list has grown over 20 years, and there's no way I can mention them all. But the more doors you open, the easier it is for new listeners to walk in. Okay, yeah, that was a lot. And when you think about it, you're probably like, ugh, that's a lot of logins and forms and trial and error. We don't want to make mistakes. Well, luckily, Blubrry makes things simple. We actually have set things up so that you get super simple distribution to Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and a lot of other platforms. We also have analytics across those platforms so you know where your audience is listening. We also provide a custom podcast website so you've got a home base beyond the apps, which is just as important. And we provide flexible hosting plans that let you publish freely. And remember, you always own your content. We just help you get it where it needs to be. So, where should you submit your podcast? Honestly, everywhere your listeners might be. So don't limit yourself. Your job is to create content that matters, and our job at Blubrry is to help you get it in front of the world. So, are you ready to start distributing your podcast the smart way? Well, it all starts with your first episode, so head over to blubrry.com and let's get your show everywhere. And if you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, drop a comment, and let me know, which platform do you listen to podcasts the most?